The House of Delegates Chamber. The House of Delegates first met in its chamber, or East Wing, in 1906. The House is comprised of 100 members, delegates, who are elected every 2 years. The Speaker of the House presides from the upper dais at the front of the chamber. The Clerk of the House and the clerk's staff work at the podium and lower desk. Both the Speaker and the Clerk are elected by House members for 2-year terms. Delegates sit at desks facing the Speaker. The Clerk of the House of Delegates assigns the members' seating following an election. Members are traditionally seated by party affiliation and seniority. House pages, students between 13 and 14 years of age, are appointed by the Speaker. They occupy the front benches and run errands for the delegates, the Clerk of the House, and staff members. Joint sessions of the Virginia General Assembly meet in the House of Delegates chamber. Winston Churchill and Margaret Thatcher, both honorary citizens of Virginia, have addressed the joint sessions of the Virginia General Assembly. In May 2007, Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II of Great Britain addressed the Virginia General Assembly and other dignitaries in the House of Delegates chamber. Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II and His Royal Highness Prince Philip sat at the dais in chairs that now reside along the back walls in the House of Delegates chamber. Each chair has a brass plaque indicating which member of the royal family sat there. To the left of the dais is a plaque of the Virginia Statute for Religious Freedom, written by Thomas Jefferson. Dedicated on January 16, 1986, it was formally accepted by Governor Gerald L. Baliles. U.S. Senator John Warner was present at the dedication and relayed greetings from the President of the United States. In 1916, a plaque to honor Nathaniel Bacon, who believed in governing by the consent of the people, was placed behind the dais in the chamber by the Society of the Colonial Dames of America. The current House of Delegates mace is a ceremonial symbol of authority, weighs approximately 10 pounds, and is solid silver with a 24-karat gold finish. It is a successor to the mace presented to the Virginia House of Burgesses by the Royal Governor in 1700. The skylight is an original feature of this room. Although it was covered up by the installation of an air conditioning system in the 1960s, it was restored during the renovation of 2007. The 1908 paint scheme in the chambers was discovered after more than 20 layers of paint had been removed. Each layer was examined under a microscope to determine the age of the paint by analyzing its content. All paint layers were painstakingly cataloged throughout this process. Looking up at the ceiling in the House of Delegates chamber, the public can view an exposed area where paint layers were removed to expose the original 1908 paint scheme. The original 1908 faux damask panels were painted on canvas, and then the canvas was applied to the wall. During the 2004 to 2007 restoration, several attempts were made to discover remnants of the pattern, but were unsuccessful, until a large plaque was removed from the back wall of the House of Delegates chamber. The removal revealed the only intact piece of canvas painted in the damask pattern. The panels were found to be red. This original panel also gave the painters clues as to how it was originally produced. The gold color used to accentuate the architectural elements throughout the chambers is not gold leaf. It is Dutch metal, a substitute for gold leaf that is applied in a similar manner and achieves similar aesthetic results at a fraction of the cost. To the right of the dais is a bas-relief or portrait relief of Lila Meade Valentine. She was one of the founders of and the first president of the Equal Suffrage League of Virginia. Senate Joint Resolution 1926 provides for this plaque in recognition of her sacrificial services in behalf of the cause of woman suffrage. Her marble relief, by Harriet Frischmuth, was dedicated and unveiled in the Old Hall of the House of Delegates on October 20, 1936. Governor George C. Perry and Lady Astor were among those who paid tribute at the ceremony. The chairs that line the walls of the back of the chamber are upholstered in two different types of fabric. Those with the thin vertical stripes are primarily used by staff and special guests. The chairs with the star pattern are primarily used by the press. There are 5 wall-mounted robotic cameras that capture the action on the House of Delegates floor. A team from WCVE Public Television controls the cameras and produces the broadcast each session day. The feed is sent to the press in the press room, located in the Capitol Extension and General Assembly Building. The video feed is also sent throughout the Capitol complex via closed-circuit television system. On the walls on each side of the dais in the chamber are electronic voting boards. The top third of the board is used to display the video broadcast of the House of Delegates session. The Virginia House of Delegates was the nation's first legislative body to install a wired voting system when it installed an electronic model in 1942.